Sexual opportunity. H, to maintain records, including copies of correspondence, memoranda, etc., which document that all of the above affirmative action steps have been taken. And I, to appoint or recruit an executive official of the company or agency as equal opportunity officer to coordinate the implementation of this section 3 affirmative action plan.
We are going to need a motion and a vote to accept.
Okay, could I have a motion?
I'll make that motion to accept the affirmative action plan.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on this? With that, Wendy, could you please start the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, now we have the next one.
Lake County, Indiana, Section 3 Understanding. United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, issued regulations that provide the directive to create job opportunities for low-income persons when HUD funds are expended on a construction project. These regulations are known as Section 3 policy. The purpose of the Section 3 policy is to ensure that the employment and other economic opportunities generated by federal financial assistance for housing and community development programs shall, to the greatest extent feasible, be directed toward low and very low income persons. Section 3 covered projects are construction, reconstruction, conversions, or rehabilitation of housing, including reduction and abatement of lead-based paint hazards and other public construction, which includes building and improvements assisted with HUD housing and community development assistance. Section 3 covered contracts include contracts for the purchase of supplies and materials. However, when a contract for materials includes the installation of materials, the contract constitutes a Section 3 covered contract. Fund recipients and contractors must show compliance with the numerical goals set forth by the regulations. The numerical goals for new hires apply only to the number of new hires generated because of the financial assistance of the HUD programs. The numerical goals are not absolute numerical requirements. They are goals that each recipient and contractor should try to reach. The goals, if not met, do not trigger sanctions against the recipient or contractor. However, if challenged on the issue of compliance with Section 3, the recipient or contractor should be ready to demonstrate that they tried to reach these goals. The goals are as follows: 30% of all covered new hires for the fiscal year 2025. In addition, recipients and contractors are required to show compliance with the goal that at least 10% of any building trade activity, which is subcontracted, and 3% of non-building trade activity, construction management, etc., is awarded to eligible Section 3 business concerns. Further information regarding these requirements may be found on the federal regulations at 24 CFR 135 and the Lake County Section 3 plan.
Thank you very much. Do we need a motion? We need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion to support this.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. And that brings us to public comments. All public comment is limited to 2 minutes, with a total of 20 minutes allotted for the public comment section. All speakers must sign in the public speaker sign-in form prior to speaking. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their discretion, council may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room, and with that, I'm going to start public comment. Anybody going up for public comment?
Good evening,
How
Tom
you
George,
doing?
1839 Magnolia. I'm a little concerned with Fran Lynn. I applaud what's been done with the speed limit reduction. However, now particularly with 45th being 1 lane reduced from 45th to Chestnut, it's absolutely crazy with the speed and traffic there. My dog and I walk on Fran Lynn several times a day, particularly in the morning when the kids are going to school. there are people literally 35, 45, 50 miles an hour down there. I realize police are not an unlimited asset, and I'm not asking to have police out there. But I think some thought needs to be given to when we're reducing lanes somewhere where the traffic goes to. Additionally, mentioning I do walk with the dog, we go on Chestnut quite a bit. The raised crosswalks, I think they're great. I see cars reducing speed there at every one of them. Whoever came up with that in the council, it was a great idea. And I recommend for any other streets where we want to do the reduction, those are what we should do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. We'll look into that. Anybody else for public comment? Going once, going twice. Public comment is closed. That brings us up to the consent agenda. Did everybody have a chance to look over it?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to old business. This is ordinance 1980, which we just had a public hearing on.
This is second reading on the additional appropriations. Once the ordinance is adopted, the appropriations will be in effect and we will report them to the Department of Local Government.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we approve ordinance 1980 as presented on second reading.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to new business. A, approval of town manager.
So council has gone through an executive search process and they have identified a very good candidate to become our new town manager. And we are looking for approval of this agreement with the new town manager, Jim Marino.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with Jim Marino and the contract.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion over this?
Looking forward to Jim starting tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. We'll break in. With that being said, Wendy, could you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. And let's go with B, resolution 2150, National Night Out Block Party Request.
For the last few years, the National Night Out events, they've included a block party the weekend before. And in the past, council has waived the fees that are normally associated with that. And so we're asking if that can happen again for the 2025 celebration.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2150?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 2150 as presented this evening.
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to resolution 2151, CDBG.
This is the resolution that goes along with the public hearing that happened earlier, and now it's my turn to read, and we'll read the resolution. Resolution number 2151, a resolution authorizing and directing the town council president of the town of Munster to submit a project proposal for community development block grant funds for federal fiscal year 2025. Whereas under the provisions of Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended to date, Lake County, Indiana is authorized to provide financial assistance to units of general local government for undertaking and carrying out community development activities. And whereas it is provided in such act that the unit of general local government shall provide satisfactory assurance prior to submission of its application, that it has held one public hearing to obtain the views of citizens of community development needs. And whereas the town of Munster is proposing a project for assistance under the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended to date, and proposes to undertake and make available a total project cost of $102,997. And whereas the town of Munster has held one formal public hearing on the proposed program and has made available to the general public through the mass media and other sources information concerning the program. And whereas the town of Munster has general knowledge of the proposed uses of such funds and is cognizant of the conditions that are imposed in the undertaking and carrying out of community development activities and undertaking for federal financial assistance under Title I, including those prohibiting discrimination because of race, color, creed, sex, or national origin. Now therefore be it resolved by the town of Munster, Indiana, Section 1, that the town council president of the town of Munster, Indiana is hereby authorized to file a project proposal for funds under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended to date, with Lake County, Indiana, and provide all information and assurances as may be necessary under the act.
With that being said, can we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept this resolution as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion over this? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, that brings us up to resolution 2152, the extension of resolution 2147.
Resolution 2147 was the last resolution that authorized an interim town manager. Under the terms of that resolution, once a new town manager is named, the interim, that agreement ceases. But we see the benefit to having a transition period. So what's being asked is that this resolution continue through May 23rd to allow for about a month's transition period to help the new town manager learn all the things that need to be learned about what's going on in town right now.
With that, could I have a motion to accept resolution 2152?
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we approve resolution 2152 as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion?
I'd just like to make a comment that we truly appreciate all your effort, Tricia Abbott, and what you did help guide this town forward to the point we are now. And I know you were at some points pulling your hair out because you're going in two different directions. But I just wanted to say thank you very much for stepping in.
You're welcome.
And I'd also like to say thank you. You've done a lot for this town. You are so valuable. And we look forward to your expertise helping out our new town manager, Jim. So thank you very much. Any other comments?
I would just echo the same comments. So,
With that being said, we have a vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. With that, our next one is the lightning detection system.
So the town has had a Guard lightning detection system for more than 20 years at this point. And while we have done our best to maintain it and repair it, it is now antiquated and is no longer being supported by Guard. So we are looking to upgrade the whole system. It would now not only warn when there's lightning in the area, it does have lightning prediction capabilities as well.
That being said, may I have a motion to approve the lightning system?
I'll make a motion to approve the replacement of the Thor lightning system for $172,755 to be paid from the GO bond and the CCD fund.
I second that motion.
Do we have any discussion?
The question I have, you mentioned it predicts lightning. Did it always predict lightning?
No.
It forecasted.
It up the light
Okay,
within a certain mile.
okay,
This can predict. It's also got 3 weather stations,
okay.
so we can actually watch the live weather in north, central, and south.
Okay, very good. And this is in addition to, this doesn't take place of the tornado warning system.
No.
That still is a separate system that's operating separately. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, discussions? That being said, Wendy, please call the vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Next up's the agreement for construction engineering, the pedestrian bridge project.
So we have gone through the official NDOT process to find a company that will perform the construction inspection services when we build the bridges over the ditches. There were 3 people on the evaluation committee, and we found that SEH was the most appropriate contractor to work with. This is scheduled for bid letting next month. So we're looking for approval of this contract with SEH.
And could I have a motion to approve SCH for the pedestrian bridge project?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd just like to comment that this has been long in coming. I believe, many, many years we've talked about this, and I know that there was a lot of research and back and forth and with the utility company, and we're getting close.
We're getting close. While it's scheduled to be let next month, the real determination as to when this will actually be constructed will be once they place the order for the 2 bridges. That's going to be at least 6 to 8 months. And we'll see how that, we won't know exactly until we're able to place the order, and we can't place the order until we're ready to let.
Just to show the length of how much time has happened with this. I think there's been 5 or 6 different park directors with the town of Munster since this project was originally discussed.
Something like that.
And it's quite a long time. It's been over probably 12 to 15 years.
Mhm.
So congratulations on getting it this far.
Anything else? That being said, Wendy, please call vote.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Next up, Main Street Supplemental Agreement.
We have a design engineering agreement in place with DLZ for the work that's going to be done on Main Street. The town of Dyer approached us. They would like to have, as part of the project, sidewalks placed on the south side of Main Street. In order to do that, we would need to have a supplement to this agreement for the engineering work. Dyer has agreed that if Munster will include this at the project, they will cover the costs associated with it. They were going to be discussing it at their most recent council meeting too, and we were looking to have something a little bit more formal put in place. We have a timing issue though at this point. Right now, we do not have funding from NERC for this. Once this is, assuming it does get approved, we will let NERC know, and then we're going to ask them to look if they can't include that in, so that it would be an 80-20 match, but we have to wait and see. Regardless, that whatever that cost is, the town of Dyer will be taken care of.
We have a motion for the Main Street.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to approve the supplemental letter agreement number 2 from DLZ for a new contract total of $948,140.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion over this? That being said, Wendy, could you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes.
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Next up, license agreement with Town of Highland.
This is an agreement where the town of Munster would put some equipment on their water tower, the one that is located on Indianapolis Boulevard, close to Meyer. It will allow, it's advanced metering infrastructure where we will be able to read meters in real time. The whole system, it's on multiple towers, but that southeastern quadrant of town was not being picked up well during the propagation study, but that tower that Highland has would pick it up. So the agreement calls for us to be able to put the equipment on there. Munster will pay for the work that their attorney did to get this license agreement in place. And we will also pay for an inspection to be done once the work is completed, so that they can be assured that their equipment, their tower is in good condition still. And then there's $100 a year fee to cover the electricity and costs.
A whole $100.
Uh-huh.
Do I have a motion to approve the license agreement with Town of Highland?
I'll make that motion.
And then I need a
I'll
second.
second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I want to just offer my thanks to the town council in Highland for cooperating with us. I think this is an excellent example of how municipalities can work together to accomplish what I believe will be mutually beneficial outcomes. And I extend my thanks to the members of the Highland Town Council for working with us.
I certainly like to echo that because it is important and it is good neighbors working together to help make things happen and it benefits all the residents.
And hopefully there'll be more to come. That being said, Wendy, please.
Counselor Hopper.
Yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes,
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes, and then last of the new business, landfill improvements.
When they were doing the work at Centennial for the new pro shop, there was, they had to cross over where the well field is, and there was a pipe that got broken. Rubino, who handles the whole well field, happened to be on site when this happened. They capped off both ends of it and said, we'll come back later and fix it. The time has come to go back and fix it. They've given us a quote to do the work. It's $27,700. That's one item. The other item has to do with the leachate disposal system. Last year, we came to council we discovered that there was a problem where the system was not working properly. And the council authorized some work to be done there to try to get it back up and running. And we knew at the time that we were likely to find a bigger problem. Well, we found the bigger problem. And the system has 5 panels that contain sump pumps to move the leachate to where it needs to be so that it can ultimately get disposed. We need to replace those panels. The quote that we got was $183,142.40. Because we know that whenever we work in the landfill, other things come up that need to be addressed. So we're asking for authority to spend up to $200,000 on this project. The cost will be covered from a combination of bond proceeds and solid waste management.
And thank you. Could I have a motion to approve?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the well field repair work as outlined in the scope of work dated December 2nd, 2024 from Covino Environmental Field Services LLC in the amount of $27,700. And also to approve the replacement of 5 panels in the leachate collection system as outlined in the quote from HD Mechanical dated March 20th, 2025 at an amount not to exceed $200,000.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any discussion or comments over this?
I have a question about the 27,700. I mean, that was an error that the pipe was damaged during the construction. Like, who's responsible for that?
That's an interesting question. I will talk with Park Director Mark Heinz about what happened there. And do we need to be going back to that contractor? I'll talk with him about it in a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment, discussion? That being said, Wendy, could you please call the vote?
Counselor Hopper.
Yeah, yes.
Counselor Gardner.
Yes.
Counselor Nellens.
Yes,
Counselor Peterson.
Yes.
Counselor Schinkin.
Yes. Next up is reports electrifying Munster.
The Munster Civic Foundation met last week, and part of the Munster Civic Foundation is the foster community spirit and the vibrancy in the town of Munster. Beginning in 2025, the Munster Civic Foundation will be sponsoring a new program called Electrifying Munster, the Beauty in the Box program. This is a program that will place artwork on utility boxes throughout the town of Munster on mainly the utility boxes by traffic lights. We'll be starting announcing this program. We have members of the Civic Foundation will be talking to various artists in town and also with various businesses in town. And our goal this year is to at least dress up about 10 to 12 utility boxes this year. There's about 35 boxes throughout the town. So this is a multi-year project. Just wanted to let the council be aware of it tonight and just to promote it and to advertise it that we're looking forward to really beautifying Munster, electrifying Munster. And this kind of, it carries on a little bit of what we did a couple years ago with the Tulip program. Again, just another way to bring some artwork and some vibrancy into the town of Munster.
Thank you. Any other reports? No? Pardon?
We'd like to maybe.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not on the reports. Okay, thank you very much. Any portfolio reports? Under announcements, all town council meetings will begin at 6:30 unless otherwise noted, April 26th. We have a strategic plan session beginning at 6 o'clock tomorrow right here. April 23rd is another strategic plan session beginning at 3. And then our next meeting is May 5th of 2025. And then Jim, I'd like to have you come on up here and kind of introduce yourselves and. Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here,
Damn chicken here.
Jim has a wealth of
We'll come
knowledge
right
in
on down.
municipal government. I don't know if you want to explain where.
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
just welcome here. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to working here. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your town manager. Just a little background. I grew up in the region. I grew up in Calumet City. I used to come to Munster quite a bit back in the day. Used to go to Montgomery Ward and Giovanni. So it's a good opportunity for me to come back and work in the region. And that's one thing that excites me about it. I'm also excited about the many projects you have on. In doing my research for the position, I learned a lot about the community, a lot of the activities and projects you have going on. So I'm looking forward to working with staff and the council on all those projects and doing what I can, to help the town move forward and succeed, now and into the future.
We're excited to have you.
We're all excited.
Thank you. Welcome. Start tomorrow, 5 a.m.
That's right.
You want to get a quick picture?
You bring donuts and coffee.
Okay.
That's standard.
Together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
That concludes our town council meeting, and then we're gonna have a short 5-minute meeting for the redevelopment commission.
I would make a motion that we adjourn our meeting, our regular town council.
Oh, yeah.
meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now I can call to order.
I have multiple documents that I do need all of you to sign, so I'm gonna pass them down. Go ahead and do that. Is there anybody here from is it the Lake County Commissioner? I don't see. I thought maybe there was, and then it's usually we hand it right to them this evening, so I don't see anyone.
Okay, is it okay to start the redevelopment?
Who closed the last meeting?
I made a motion, Joe seconded.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or how the vote go?
5-0.
And with that being said, I'm gonna open up the redevelopment commission meeting. Wendy, could you call?
Commissioner Hopper.
Here.
Commissioner Gardner.
Present.
Commissioner Nellens.
Present.
Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Here.
And our school board liaison, Mr. John Castro. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Quickly, I would just like to say thank you for your hospitality. I know I wasn't here for the last meeting, but my fellow board member Amy Sender was here and she spoke very highly of all of you and your welcoming and hospitality. So thank you for not scaring her away.
Well, check out donuts.
Oh, wow.
With that, We're gonna have public comment. All public comment is limited to 2 minutes, with a total of 20 minutes allotted for the public comment section. All speakers must sign a public speaker sign-in form prior to speaking. Please keep all comments civil, constructive, and related to public policy issues. At their discretion, council may allow public comment to extend past 20 minutes, but not required to do so. All rules for public comment are posted outside the main meeting room. With that, is there anybody up here who wants to speak to the redevelopment commission? Going once, going twice, closing public comment. The set agenda, I need approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have any discussion? That being said, Wendy, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Hopper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gardner,
Yes.
Commissioner Nellens.
Yes,
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schinkin.
Yes. We have no old business, no new business. Any reports? Any announcements? Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Meeting.
Thank you, John.
adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you.
You got the easy one.
And then we got.
He did that grilled last week.
Yes.
Just a reminder, executive session starting at 7:15.
Pictures. Yeah. You can have a couple of guys that stand up here and both, I can take pictures. Yep.
Sure we can.
I think you know. Okay, over here on this side, let's put that camera in there. How about, okay, here we go. One, oh, yeah. Okay, how about that? Does anybody else use your phone or? Yeah. There we go. All right. We got one more picture here, guys. Okay, here we go. Ready? Every smile. Smile.
Always nice to have students.